find roots of higher degree polynomials. And it's a long process, and there's a lot of theorems involved, and then you got to do these little tricks, and then you narrow it down till you get closer, and then you say, hey, look, there's an interval. Like if you remember the problem we did with the intermediate value theorem, it's like, oh, look, it's between these two. And so you do all these processes to find that, and then you kind of find one, and then you get happy because you can eventually factor. But you have a graphing calculator that you can just punch it in and go, hey, look, there, it's like right there. It's real close. And so then why should we spend time doing all that other stuff? Because they would never ask you an ACT question on it because it would be so long and involved. So I was going to skip this altogether. And then I said, well, you know what? Somewhere along the line, someone may reference dividing polynomials, and I don't want you guys to be like, well, what is that? I didn't even know you could do that. Right, so then we're going to start talking about this, and then we're just going to move on to complex numbers, and then you'll have a quiz. So, and we've already done some of the complex number stuff. So this is just a skill, and so we're just going to look at some stuff. Rational expressions are going to be a big deal for you in the near future, and this book kind of mixes them in as we go, and so this is going to be something that we need to do. I'm just looking at the top here of page 239, and you're asked to find the sum or difference of the terms of y2 to verify that y1 and y2 are the same. So we're not even going to do anything with this first expression because that's kind of our answer. And we're going to say, yay, we got it. Hopefully. So we need to combine these two. And how are we going to do that? Yeah, we need a common denominator, right? If you're going to add any fractions, you need a common denominator. And what would your common denominator be?
X minus 1.
All right, and so in order for us to do that, what do we have to do to 4?
Multiply by x minus 1.
And so there are two parts to 4, right? It's 4 over 1. And we do have to multiply both top and bottom by the same thing because that is a version of 1. And we're not changing any values. We're just rearranging things to make ourselves happy. Does that make sense to everybody? All right. So then what does the 4 turn into?
4.
Yeah, make sure you distribute 4x minus 4, is that what you said? Yeah, but just make sure you distribute, right? And now we have these. So now we have a common denominator, so we can combine them. When you're adding or subtracting fractions that have common denominators, you do what? If you have fractions with common denominators, how do you add them?
Just add straight across.
Well, just the top, right? Leave the bottom alone. So what happens to our numerator here? Yeah, the negative 4 and 4. So then, did we verify it?
Yep.
All right. Any questions? All right. We remember how to do this? It was like 3rd or 4th grade or something like this. Okay, so just for me, let's go through it again on how you do it. So what's the process?
How many times does 3 go into 7?
Yeah, so how many times does 3 go into 7? All right, and you write the 2 here, and then what's the next step? Okay, so 2 times 3 is 6, and then yes, you do subtract, so you got a 1. So you pull down the 2, and now we have 12, and so then 3 goes into 12. Okay, and then we get 12, and then we subtract and get 0. Bring down the 8. Goes in 2 more times for 6. We subtract and we get 2. And now what was your options from there? So you could, like one of the things was, I want to see, and then so you would go like this until you found it, right? This one there would be no finding. But, so then what was your other option at the time? Okay, so we do still have a remainder, right? The remainder is 2, and so you would have wrote maybe remainder 2. Okay, so we're not going to do that either. We're not going to do the decimals at all. And so then it becomes a fraction, right? So then where did you get 2/3? Yeah, okay, so this is in the denominator. And this is the numerator, right? Is that okay? Did we do it right today?
Yeah.
All right, so I don't know, some people have done this before. If you were with me last year, we did not do this. I skipped it altogether. Some people did this, maybe forget. So we're doing two different things here. We're going to end up doing long division and synthetic division. Okay? So I'm looking at 7 to 19. If you guys want to pick one, what do you want to do? All right, so everything is mostly the same. I would say I would keep an eye out for missing terms inside of, which one is this? This is the dividend, I believe. Is that right? Yeah, so what do I mean by missing terms? Like, we don't have any on this one.
If you go from like 3 to 1, yeah.
Okay, so,
Then just X.
yeah, okay. And so you should put in a 0, and on this case, I would put in like a 0x squared or a 0x or whatever, just to keep everything lined up. We don't have anything to worry about this. It's exactly the same as what we just looked at. The only difference is we're only paying attention to this first term. Where'd it go? This first term. Okay, so what times x, right? We're just looking at this one. What times x gives you 2x squared? All right, so then you say 2x here, and now we multiply like we did on the other one. 2x squared plus 6x. Now this is a place people make a mistake. You must remember that you're subtracting here. So why does that matter?
Because it changes the sign.
Yeah. So then so if you get the sign wrong, then you're going to get maybe the coefficient wrong, and then you're just going in a bad place. So what is the answer here when we go through this? Just 4x. Is that okay with everybody? All right, so make sure you don't make a mistake on that part. Now what?
Drop the 12 down.
Yeah, bring it 12 down. It is plus 12. So what is it? Yeah, so then plus 4, right? It's just what times that first one, x, gives us 4x. So 4 it is. So we get 4x plus 12. We subtract again, and we get 0. So our remainder is 0, so we wouldn't put anything. So now a question would be, is x plus 3 a factor of 2x squared plus 10x plus 12? And you know that because why? Yeah, because there's no remainder. There's nothing left over. All right. Is that okay?
I just forgot. I just forgot.
Yeah, so we've done, yeah, so, right, this is what it looks like, right? You set it up like this. All right, so then what goes in that little half box? Yeah, it is negative 10. So it's always the opposite sign. I don't know. Yeah, so if you set that the divisor by equal to 0, you can find out what it is and solve for x. Okay, and so then what goes next to this little half box? Well, what are these things called?
The coefficient.
Coefficients. Okay, so then negative 1. Right, you do need to add zeros on this. You can kind of get away with it in long division because you'll have to subtract anyway, so you have to do like terms. But if you skip a 0 here, then it doesn't work at all. All right, so is this okay? All right, now the process goes pretty quick from here. So what are the steps? Yeah, you just drop the first one down. Multiply negative 10 times negative 1 is 10. Now you're always adding here, so then 10 again. And now it's just repeated over and over. So negative 10 times 10.
Negative 100.
75 plus negative 100.
Negative 25.
And negative 10 times negative 25. And then we add those and get 0. So how many people remember what the 0 tells you? It tells you two different things. Well, okay, that's the next thing I'm gonna ask, but what about that 0 at the end? It's what? No remainder, so we do know that x plus 10 is a factor of that. Does anyone remember what the other thing it tells you is?
Bring it down from x.
Well, no, but with just a 0
Well,
though,
like
just a 0.
the number to the left of it is gonna be the number that doesn't have anything with it.
That's the y-intercept.
Say it again.
Like, cause like, the number to the left of it's gonna be the number that doesn't have an X on the end of it, so like, you know. the-
Yeah, okay, yeah, so that's what he's saying, but does anyone remember what else that 0 tells us? That's okay, because we're gonna talk about it tomorrow, so if you don't remember, that's fine. Okay, so the rest of this is like, how do you know what's left over? Because we do need a polynomial left over. So the answer is not really this. Okay, right, so everything starts 1 down, and like they were saying, this last term should never have a variable with it.
Mr. Rivers, a little question.
Yeah.
If that number ended up not being 0, would that number have a coefficient or a x on its end?
Okay, so yeah, that's a good question. Let's do one more. Let's try to get that in so that we can take care of that. Okay, so I don't know if we're gonna pick it right. If we don't pick it right, I'll just tell you then. How about that?
Alright.
Can I do that? Actually, we can find one. We can find one. That's the saddest story I've ever heard, man. All right, you guys tell me. You can tell me. This is more of your homework. I do this because I care.
We're at 29 now? Okay.
4. 4, good. 4 goes right there. Do you want the line too? 5. Yeah, watch your signs. All right. 5, yeah, you gotta bring it down first. Always bring the first one down. 5. 20. 14. 56. 56. 224, good. 232, okay, did we do that right? I feel pretty good about it. Right, bring it down, multiply, add till you get to the end. I guess add would be the last one. All right, so we do have something going on that's not a 0 now. Okay, so we do know that x minus 4 is not a factor. And I keep bringing that up because that's the part that we're going to end up skipping. You would use synthetic division to quickly test this bank of numbers that you've created to see if they're factors. As you go through it, you use synthetic division because it's real quick. Nope, nope, nope. Yay, there it is. Okay, that's how it works. So right now we'd be like, oh. I got it on my YouTube video, Gannon, so you can check it there.
Okay.
It's my most famous one.
Famous?
Yeah. Well, one of them is very famous.
Nice.
Thank you. All right, so then what's the answer then?
232/4.
There it was, okay. 232 over what though?
X minus 4.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Oh, roasted.
Yeah, thank you.
You want to be faster or something?
Yeah, be careful, be careful.
Yeah, too excited about
Say like
synthetic
Brian.
division.
Or Brian. Take your time.
All right.